Well, good morning. It is June 16th, day 40 on the trail for me. We've left the upper Goose Pond cabin area. Got a couple of pancakes and some coffee. And got a little bit of a late start for us. We weren't actually leaving until about it was about 6:30, and then it was a half mile from the cabin to the actual trail. We've passed over, I think that was I-90 that we just that we passed over, and we are heading our way north. It is a, let's see, we're looking at about 17 and a half trail miles today to, I think it's called the K Wood Shelter. It doesn't look too bad. No ridiculous climbs, I don't think. Just miles. Did not plan this video well, as I have a little bit of a climb here. So I'm gonna slow down my talking so I can catch my breath a little bit. All right, well, as always, if I see anything interesting, I will grab a picture or some video. And here's what the trail looks like right now. So that was a neat experience. I'm just hiking along, and this guy sitting on a rock, and say hello. And I was just gonna move on. He's like, "Oh, what's your trail name?" I'm Gator. He says, "I'm BCM." And he starts talking about how he's a lasher. A lasher is a long ass section hiker. So he's been hiking the trail since 2009 in sections, and he expects to finish next year. And, talking, and, I'm hopefully able to do the whole thing because I'm on sabbatical. And it's like, "Are you a teacher?" "I'm a professor." And it's like, "Oh, I was a high school band director." Now, of course, that got my attention. As, being a band nerd. And yeah, he was a high school band director in Mississippi and Louisiana for a number of years, and then went on to other things. So I said, "You went to Southern Miss?" I was like, "Well, when you were in the band, were you a member of any honorary organizations?" He's like, "I'm a member of Kappa Kappa Psi." And so I asked him to stand up, and I greeted him as a brother. So that was cool. To meet a brother on the trail. He said he pledged. He was pretty sure it was fall 75 when he pledged. The chapter, he said which chapter, but I made a note of it. But it eludes me at the moment. But yeah, that was a cool experience. Probably never see him again. But yeah, it was good to meet a brother on the trail. All right, so about probably about 5.5 miles in today, and here's what the trail looks like right now. So that was pretty neat. That was the Cookie Lady. Version 2.0, the original Cookie Lady. Well, so there's two Cookie Ladies. There's one in the south and there's one in the north. The one in the north passed away a few years ago, or a couple of years ago, and this woman who actually is also a caretaker at the shelter that I stayed in, last night or near, bought the property from the original Cookie Lady's daughter and is now running it. Hikers can stop by and get a couple of free cookies. She brought out like a hibiscus. She called it a hibiscus cooler. It was hibiscus and lemonade, and it's pretty good. And they of course accept donations, and it's also a blueberry farm. So when blueberries are in season, it's a pick your own blueberries kind of thing. That was nice. Good break in the middle of the day, and to meet another interesting person on the trail. All right, so got about 5.5 miles to go today to the shelter area where we're staying. So another 2.5 hours or so. It doesn't look like there's too much climbing still. Just relatively flat, but there's been lots of brief ups and downs, and rocks and roots that you gotta get over. So, still challenging, but not too much in the way of climbing. All right, so here's what the trail looks like right now. All right, so we finally get a view today, and it's a pretty good one. Out there, this is pretty much due north. That is Greylock. I'll be climbing that in 2 days. Powerline view. Not too bad. A similar bunk and loft type as I stayed in a couple nights ago. I've set up my tent over here. There's like a few terraced. You can sort of see here. You can see that there's a sort of a flat area there, and then there's a couple other sort of terraced spots for tents. And we got a bear box right here. But you gotta be careful. Don't walk too far away, because it's a steep drop. And I know this doesn't show up well, but we're right next to a small, I don't want to call it a ravine, because I don't think there's a river down there, but it's a bit of a drop. All right, well, made it to the shelter and had something to eat. I'm all set for the night, so it's kind of time to wind down and get some rest before I do it all again tomorrow. So plan for tomorrow is, I think we're gonna do just about 16 miles tomorrow. We're gonna get up early like usual, and hit the trail. Gonna go just about 2.5 miles to Dalton, Massachusetts. Gonna try and grab some breakfast, because the trail goes right through Dalton, and then get back on the trail and another 13.5 miles to Cheshire, Massachusetts, and then we'll set up, and we got to get a resupply. I'm out of dinners. Right now all we have pretty much is snacks to get us through the trail to Cheshire. So like I said, we're going to go through Dalton. So if we need something, there's a Cumberland Farms that's right on the way. So that convenience store, you can grab something there. But yeah, that's the plan for tomorrow. About 16 miles. And you know, I said, you know, I don't think I said it this morning, but I think I said last night that today it was supposed to be down in the 40s, and it was. It was, you know, like it was mid 40s this morning when I woke up. On Tuesday, so today's Sunday. On Tuesday, the highs are supposed to be in the 90s. There's some sort of a heat dome, I think they're calling it, that's coming over the area, and it's going to be ridiculously hot over the next few days. So that's going to be a challenge because we're supposed to start climbing some mountains. I showed a mountain earlier today, and yeah, I've got to climb that on Tuesday, and it's going to be hot. So something else to add to the challenge. You know, we've had this pretty nice weather. We had some rain a couple days ago, but it's been relatively nice for the past week. And well, here it comes, right? We're gonna have some heat. Hopefully it won't be as humid as, you know, that central Florida heat, but we'll have to see what happens. All right, so thank you to the cookie lady for your hospitality. I did enjoy those cookies and the, what did you call it? The hibiscus cooler. That was very good. Too bad the blueberries weren't in season, or I might have gone and picked some. But if you're in the Massachusetts area, I'm sure there's a whole bunch of you pick farms, but go and visit the cookie lady and get some blueberries when they're in season. All right, well, as always, if you've stuck through to the end of the video, you know I appreciate it, and I will see you again tomorrow on the trail.